Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to work on an exciting topic that is solving Poisson equation in 1D using physics-informed neural networks, also known as PINNs in short. This is a very fascinating area in scientific machine learning. Before going ahead, let's define the problem first. So this is the basic governing differential equation that we are going to solve in this tutorial, and these are the boundary conditions. This is basically a boundary value problem. Our objective for this tutorial is to find this function y of x that satisfies both this governing differential equation and the boundary conditions. The analytical solution for this problem is y of x is equals to sine pi x. We obtained this problem definition from the documentation of this DeepXT help docs. Here in this example problem, they solved using this DeepXT library. So here we are not going to use that library. We develop everything from scratch to solve this boundary value problem using PINNs. Before we dive into the details, let's quickly understand what a physics-informed neural network is. PINNs are a type of neural network that uses the underlying physics of the problem via governing differential equation and boundary conditions. They incorporate these governing differential equations and boundary conditions directly into the training process, ensuring that the network prediction satisfies the physical laws described by these equations. This approach has several advantages. It allows us to solve complex differential equations without requiring a large amount of data and get more reliable results. In traditional machine learning, the models are trained using data sets. For example, in supervised machine learning, a data set might consist of X input features and Y output features. The machine learning model tries to map the X input features to the Y output features by minimizing the error between the predictions from the neural network to the true values of the output features. But in PINNs, we do not have any traditional data set. Instead, they are trained using governing physical laws of the system, typically expressed in the form of governing differential equations and boundary conditions. The data in PINNs comes from the physics itself, which includes the governing differential equation and the boundary conditions. In this video, we will walk through the entire process step by step in detail. We will start by setting up the basic neural network architecture and we incorporate the governing equations and boundary conditions into the training process. By the end of this tutorial, we promise we will have a solid understanding of how to apply physics-informed neural networks to solve differential equations. Before we dive deep into today's tutorial, I have a small request. Behind every video, we do a lot of hard work to give you the best content. If you like our content, please subscribe to our channel. Your subscription means a lot to us and it really motivates us to create more useful tutorials like this. Let's dive into today's tutorial. Before we dive into the core of this tutorial, let's try to understand one important theorem, that is universal approximation theorem. This is one of the fundamental principles behind PINNs. In simple language, this theorem states that neural networks can approximate any function, no matter what the function f of x is. There exists a neural network that can get us very close to the correct output. We design here a simple neural network to approximate the function y of x. The input to this neural network is the spatial coordinate x and the output is the function value. Let's call this neural network as YNN. So using the simple YNN notation, we define the entire neural network. In PINNs, governing differential equation serves as a source of infinite data points. The neural network is trained to minimize the residuals of these equations. For example, in the given problem, the differential equation is d square y by dx square plus pi square sine pi x is equals to 0. The residual for this equation is given as this. So let's replace this y with YNN of x, that is the neural network of x. So if we put x in the neural network, then the output value is the residual. So ideally we expect the output value to be 0. If it comes 0, then that is the exact solution. But if it is not 0, then there is an error. We have to minimize that error. By minimizing this residual, the neural network learns to approximate the solution y of x that satisfies the differential equation. Boundary conditions provide specific values the solution must satisfy at certain points. For our problem, the boundary condition are this: y of minus 1 is equals to 0 and y of 1 is equals to 0. We will incorporate these boundary conditions into the neural network as an additional loss. So the total loss that we need to minimize in this neural network is this, the loss from the PDE, that is the residual, plus the loss from these boundary conditions. Collocation points are specific locations within the domain where the differential equation boundary conditions are evaluated. We generate the data at these collocation points to train our neural network. These points ensure that the differential equation is satisfied throughout the domain. These are the key steps that are involved in this physics informed neural network derivation process. So first we define a neural network. Neural network definition consists of three steps. First we have to define an input layer and some hidden layers and the output layer. So in our case we have only one input feature, that is x, and we get only one output, that is y of x. And in between we can define any number of hidden layers with any number of neurons in each hidden layer. Next, we compute the derivatives. In this example, we require only one derivative, that is d square y by dx square, that is this. So we evaluate this derivative using automatic differentiation. Next, we evaluate the residual, that is d square y of x by dx square plus pi square sin pi x. And next, we evaluate the total loss. Total loss is evaluated as the sum of the squares of the residual plus the squares of this boundary condition. So this gives us the total loss. And in this tutorial, we are choosing a Adam optimizer to minimize this loss. And in the end, we use this neural network for predictions and we compare the obtained solution with the analytical solution. Before we move on to the main code, I would like to thank the authors of some key references we referred for this tutorial. If you are interested in diving deeper into this topic, I highly recommend checking out the works by Chapran Canale, Raisi et al. And Kania Daikis et al. So these are some very good references. So do check them if you want to know more about this physics informed neural networks. Let's dive into the code. So here we are importing three libraries. The first one is the TensorFlow and the NumPy and Matplotlib library. So this TensorFlow we use for developing the neural network, and these two are some libraries used for manipulating the array and vector operations and for plotting purposes. These are some plot control settings I'm using. So if you want, you can change these settings to your like. Here I am defining my basic neural network. So I'm defining neural network with 5 layers. So of which first one is the input layer, so which is not there in this list because by default we have an input layer, and we define the first hidden layer with 15 neurons and tan h activation function, and second and third hidden layers are also defined in a similar way as of the first hidden layer with same 50 hidden neurons and tan h activation function. And we have one output layer, that is this. And here I'm defining this call model function. So here we send the model and the input feature x to this call model function, and within that it will perform all the calculations and give us the final output, and this is the y value. So these two are some important functions. So here I created the network, and here I call the network and made some evaluation operation using the network. And next here I am defining the PDE function. So this PDE function evaluates the second order partial derivative, or means in our case we are using just simple ordinary differential equation. So I have written this as a general, but in our case we are going to evaluate just one derivative, that is d square y by dx square. We use TensorFlow's automatic differentiation capabilities for evaluating this derivative. Inside the function we are using this tf dot gradient tape to compute the first derivative and the second derivative of the model output. So this function takes two arguments, that is the input x and the model. So when we send these two inputs to this function, and it will evaluate the derivatives in the equation, and it will finally returns us the residual value. It will return the residual as it is. And next here we define the loss function. Loss function consists of two main components. One is the loss from the PDE that we evaluated using this PDE function, and second loss comes from the boundary condition. So here we are evaluating the boundary condition loss. So boundary condition loss is also evaluated in the same way as we evaluate the PDE loss, meaning we send this x coordinates of the boundary points to this call model function such that we get the y values from the model, and we compare these values predicted at the boundaries with the original boundary value, that is ybc, and we take a difference and we square them to get the total loss from this bc. So this returns us the total loss, that is the loss from the PD plus the loss from the boundary conditions. So our objective is to minimize this loss and to keep it as minimum as possible. And next function, this train step function, is a very important function. Here we perform a single training step for a neural network. It starts with the forward propagation where the model makes predictions based on the input batch of the data. The loss is then computed using the custom loss function within this tf.gradient tape, which records operations for automatic differentiation. During back propagation, we evaluate the gradients of the loss with respect to all model training variables. Here, the training variables includes all the weights and biases in each layer. And finally, we apply the gradients to the optimizer to update the parameters inside the neural network. This is a iterative process. We call this function several times, and in each step we minimize the total loss by updating the gradients and other parameters in every iteration. Next, here we set up the whole problem. So we are taking some 100 values within the domain -1, 1. So overall we are just taking 100 values. So these 100 values are also known as collocation points. So here we are converting this numpy values to TensorFlow tensor, and here we are defining the boundary conditions. So here we know the boundary conditions at -1 and +1, and at both of these locations the y value is 0, and here also we are converting these two to a TensorFlow tensor, and here we are creating the model, and then here we are defining this learning rate scheduler, and here in this optimizer is configured with this learning rate scheduler. This learning rate scheduler will improve the training stability and convergence by gradually reducing the learning rate. So this will adaptively reduce the learning rate. So we no need to specify any explicit value to this learning rate for this optimizer, and then we are doing 2000 epochs, so 2000 iterations for solving this partial differential equation. So as we mentioned, in each training loop we call this train step function, that is this function has forward propagation, backward propagation, which involves evaluating the gradients. So in each iteration we call this a train step function. So that is this function involves all the key steps involved in the neural network formulation, that is forward propagation and loss computation, and backward propagation, which involves calculating the gradients with respect to all the training variables and parameter updates. So after we run all these 2000 epochs, we have got a final loss value of 0.00189. So here I printed the loss value at every 1000. So here I printed at 0 and 1000, and at 2000 I have not printed, but we can expect a similar loss at 2000 epoch as well. So this is the final loss that we have obtained in this neural network. So here we are defining another data set for testing. So as I said here, unlike in the traditional machine learning, we don't need to split the available data into training and testing data sets. Here we can take any random data within the specified domain, and we can generate the data that we need using the governing differential equations. So in our case, for the test data that we have chosen, so we predicted the y values, the function values, from this call model function. So These are our predicted values from the neural network. And finally, these are the true values that we have obtained from the analytical solution. Analytical solution is sin pi x. So as I showed at the beginning, the analytical solution for the problem is this: y of x is equals to sin pi x. We use the same analytical solution to evaluate these true values. So we evaluated here the true values and then we are plotting here. This is the neural network solution that obtained as shown in this red color. This exactly matches with the analytical solution. So in this particular set of governing differential equations and boundary conditions, so we were able to get an exact solution that matches closely with the analytical solution, but in some other differential equations or some other set of partial differential equations, it may be difficult to get this much exact solution, but we can try our best to get a closed solution as much as possible. So this is the fundamental idea behind physics informed neural networks. Hope you guys have got some understanding about how this physics informed neural network works. In our upcoming tutorials, we will dive more deeper into the concept of this physics informed neural networks. We will explore solving more complex partial differential equations, inverse problems, and we will also try to demonstrate solving simultaneous differential equations. This is going to be an exciting journey into the more advanced aspects of PINNs. This journey would not be possible without your support. If you found this tutorial helpful and want to stay updated on our upcoming content, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to get notifications. Your support helps us create more in-depth and valuable tutorials for you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Happy learning.